Hey Raccoons, today we're here to talk about being accountable. We're here to support you as your administrators, and today we wanted to talk to you about a few of the problems that we faced last year and how we're going to work through them moving forward.
But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. We are your associate principals. I'm Mrs. Warchowski.
I'm Mrs. Sanders.
And I'm Mr. Frias.
And one of our priorities in our jobs as associate principals is to make sure that we have a positive and safe and healthy learning environment for you guys. And so part of having a healthy learning environment is adhering to the expectations. And so we're going to talk about a couple things today. Drugs, alcohol, vaping, academic dishonesty, bullying and harassment. And was there another one?
Attendance.
Attendance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Frias? Attendance?
So for attendance, we expect you to be in class on time every day. And so just so you're aware, if you're late more than 15 minutes to class, you'll be marked unexcused absent.
Yeah, and it's also important to be on time for your classes because it not only projects a great image to your teacher, that you're there and you're really committed to your classes, but it also sets you up for success in the future too.
So, short and simple, just be here. You gotta be here in order to get an education, and we want you here.
Attendance is a legal obligation, so if you get to the point where you have 5 or more tardies or unexcused absences, that's where some more legal consequences can start, things like truancy tickets, referrals to court, that kind of thing. We obviously don't want to get there, and we want to be proactive to solve the problem with you before that point.
What's really hard is dealing with academic dishonesty.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the worst.
attendance is pretty cut and dry. You're here, you're not. But academic dishonesty, it's the worst.
So academic dishonesty, it happens. A lot of times it happens because, people are getting ready for some big event in their life, and then they procrastinate on something, and then they panic, and instead of maybe reaching out to the teacher to ask for help, they might resort to cheating in some form. So I might ask Frias for his paper, and just copy his paper and maybe change a few words and turn it in, or I might pull something from SparkNotes or whatever resource online, and I might copy and paste some paragraphs, or I might write my answers on my arm for my math test because I forgot to study. Some of those things just happen, and we'll work through it if it does happen, but there are some consequences you need to know about if it does happen. So the first time it happens, obviously your associate principal is going to meet with you, your teacher is going to meet with you, parents will be contacted. We just want you to learn from it. We want to educate you about what to do, but then some of the things that can happen are you're going to have to do some sort of reflection so that we know that you understand what the expectations are, what you're supposed to do, and that you've also learned from your mistakes, and you're going to move forward and move on from this and do the right thing moving forward. So the other thing that'll happen is the first time it might happen in a class, you can redo the assignment, but you only can earn up to a 50%, which is still an F, unfortunately, but it's better than a 0. So then the second offense, if it happens in the same exact class, so if I cheated twice in my English class, what's going to happen the second time is I just fail that course. Because at that point I'm not demonstrating that I know, or I can that I know the knowledge that's expected in that course, or that I have the skills to pass that course. So if it happens a second time, even if I'm a freshman and it happens the first time, and then maybe I'm a senior and it happens in a totally different class, what would happen at that point is it's just a 0 that sits in the grade book. So, we want to tell you about these kind of things just to make sure that you are aware of what the consequences are, because obviously that can have some pretty big impacts in your grades. For some of you, it can have some pretty big impacts too, depending on what your life goals are.
Whew, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
Mrs. Sanders knows her policies around academic dishonesty.
Should we talk about bullying and harassment?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So we want all raccoons to have a magnificent experience while you're here. And so in order to do that, you have to be yourself, and you have to follow your own path. And so we just don't want other people getting in that way or trying to prevent you from being the best that you can be. And so sometimes students will pick on other students, whether it's through social media or in person. And so we just want you to realize that you can come to any of us at any time and let us know what's going on, and we will work through that with you and talk with the other party and kind of understand where they're coming from and kind of give them your side, your perspective, so that it really changes how they feel and how they act towards others moving forward.
Yeah, so bottom line, we want this to be a safe place where people want to come, and so if something's happening that feels unsafe, just let us know and we'll work through that.
And so the last piece, which is also about safety and integrity and character, is AODA. So vaping, drugs, alcohol, keep them off campus, and that includes all of our extracurricular activities, our football games, our basketball games. It's really just not worth it. Vaping is a ticket, alcohol, drugs is a ticket from the police. It's suspensions, it's parents get involved, and so make good decisions, raccoons, and well, we're raccoons. We don't do that kind of stuff anyways, right? All right, raccoons, we talked about AODA, we talked about attendance, we talked about bullying, harassment, and we talked about academic dishonesty. So now you understand what our expectations are, so why don't you have a conversation, teachers, with your students right now?
Yeah, well, all we ask is that, once you know better, you do better, and we know you're going to rise to the occasion. So thanks, raccoons.
And remember, we all make mistakes, but here at OHS, we learn from those and we grow and move forward.